you've actually treated lakhs of people. Many patients still love you, and they really come look forward for you. Any one patient who's remained in your heart?
See, there are so many. See, there was one patient. She is a groundnut seller, footpath groundnut seller. She had narrowing of the valve. We call it as metastenosis. She was very sick. She was gasping. Everybody said. Of course, I also felt she may not survive for more than another half an hour. So we attempted and successfully performed on balloon valvuloplasty, and that was about 22 years back. Still, she's alive, and she was unconscious for nearly 1.5 hours. And every birthday of hers, she comes and gives me groundnut. And she comes from a very poor family. That gives a lot of satisfaction. See, another thing, when I went for, during campaigning, see, all of a sudden, one elderly man came. He was in early 70s. He caught hold of my hand and legs, both husband and wife, and they narrated their story. I was told in 1996 they had an heart attack, and they came to us, and they did not have money. And wife has told, doctor, I have got only 10,000. I said, don't bother about money. I have performed an angioplasty and stenting procedure. And he told me at that time, had my daughters, there were two daughters, one was 3-year-old, another was 6 years old. So if you have not done the procedure, if I have not survived on that day, see, today both my daughters, who were 3 years old and 6 years old at that time, today both are PhD holders and they are employed. And so he could not hide his those tears actually. So that gives a lot of satisfaction. So I think this is where, see, I might have got many awards including Padmashree, but the biggest award is when somebody says, you have saved my life, you have saved my children's life, or you have saved my wife's life. That is bigger than any award.
In your 18 years of journey, and do you have any other incident which you can never forget?
Yeah, another incident, of course, see, most important during these 18 years, it is not, journey is not only full of flowers. There are a lot of thorns. So many people have pelted stones at me, bricks at me, but I have used the same stone and brick and I have built the organization. So that is so I have to swallow a lot of insults. I have to swallow a lot of pride, so many things. But all this I did from common man's perspective. Let me build, because this institution was started in the 1984 by Dr. D. Chinaya.
Okay.
He was the founder director. So at that time it was a small unit, but it blossomed into an institute of excellence during my period. That is one. Another incident I can always recall is, there was one KS officer. He was around at that time maybe 55 years. So he had an heart attack and he had a cardiac arrest. So we were doing cardiac massage for 45 minutes in the cardiac cath lab, and there was no blood pressure, and he was on ventilator. We went on. Then everybody thought, already we have been doing a CPR, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, for 45 minutes. I think we'll stop. We'll declare him as dead. So somewhat I thought, let me continue for another 5-10 minutes of revival. Then blood pressure came up a little bit, heartbeat also came up. Then we did an angiogram. Then there was a critical 90% block. Then we did an angioplasty and stenting. That was about 25 years back. Then he became an IAS officer. Just about 6 months back, he came for a checkup. His brain is perfect and his health is perfect. Heart function is excellent. So these are some of the amazing things that can happen. So they give a lot of satisfaction.
Yeah, no wonder it was a rebirth for him.
Yeah.
And that's why I think doctors are called as Vaidyo.
And sometimes what happening, expectedly, we expect some good outcome, But unfortunately, rarely some complications will develop. It is not in our hand. So when such things happens, we'll get disappointed.
Right.
So in fact, it will be going through our mind for days and days. It hurts you because that's where, see, we are not performing puja at home, but before taking up this procedure, we pray on behalf of the patient internally. Let the procedure go smoothly. So this is how the whole practice has gone. And but sometimes we'll get disappointed, we'll get depressed if a patient who is doing very well all of a sudden collapses.
Okay. Yeah. So what is, you've given rebirth to many people, doctor, actually. So what is the best compliment you have received?
Best compliment is the people, their love and affection is the best compliment. And many, when they come for a visit, they said they have gone to Tirupati, they give prasadam. They have gone to Dharmasthala, Manjunath Swami temple, they give prasad. They say, we prayed for you. See, that is the biggest compliment. We prayed, we went to the temple, prayed for you and your family. That is the biggest compliment.
When you joined into cardiology compared to now, there's been a huge advance in technology. Do you miss not doing anything right now?
Actually, after becoming director, because I have to spend a lot on administration, of course, I still, as a director, I used to see a lot of patients. So many people used to ask, you are a director, why are you seeing so many patients? But as far as procedures are concerned, that number of procedures have come down. But still, I used to do some procedure just to have a hands-on feeling on that. So definitely you have to compromise somewhere, but I could able to balance between academics, then doing cardiac procedures and administration. All the three I could able to balance.
So how is Dr. Manjunath otherwise, apart from being a doctor? Actually, your darling walk became quite viral. So do you also darling walk, doctor, with your wife? No. If not to the voting booth, at least here and there.
No, actually, of course, she is also busy. I am also busy. But I always try to walk 10,000 steps. Only last 1 month I could not walk much. For last 5 days I have started. So walking is a must because it's a very, very important. You should walk at least 10,000 steps. So as I already said, if you start walking before doctor advises, it is called morning walk. And if you start walking after doctor advises, it becomes a warning walk. If you are walking with husband or wife, then it is darling walk. Whatever it is, you should keep on walking. Even the heart also says same thing. You just walk 1 hour for me, I will continue to beat for rest of the life. That's what the great heart also says.
What is your fitness mantra, doctor?
The fitness mantra is, of course, I eat a lot of fruits, vegetables, and I eat on non-vegetarian side, I try to avoid meat as far as possible, chicken and fish. Then I go for walk, because when I was in the hospital, 5,000 steps I used to walk in the hospital only, another 5,000 steps at home. And normally I don't go to the parks for walking because a lot of people keep talking to me and disturb me, and also they want to have photograph, they want to have a selfie. So as a result, I will walk in at home only.
Okay.
At home only. And another important thing is, I will try to console myself. My expectations are limited. I am not over ambitious. That is one thing. And I always appreciate the growth of others. I don't feel jealous about others. That is one thing. And I always maintain these things, timely patience. And I will always smile at others, even if somebody sometimes what happens, they may not be liking me, but still I smile at them. And I have helped a lot of people who created problems for me also. So in that way, I think at least for our satisfaction, sometimes you have to help others who may not deserve much. So that sort of a thing. So I think one has to have what is called satisfaction. But only thing, As far as my health is concerned, I'm not a good sleeper because I used to read a lot during my MBBS days or during my MD DM cardiology days. Same thing as, and also as a cardiologist, as a director, although physically you are working for 14 hours, 13 hours, mentally you are occupied 24 hours. So always worried about what is happening and all those things. So, but this is how. Regarding fitness, yes, the food habits are good. That's fine. And walking, I always see to that I walk about 10,000 steps. So that is one. The most important is I think there are many non-medicine medicines.
Medicine.
Non-medicine, that is walking in sunlight,
Okay.
then your exercise,
Hmm.
then rest, then intermittent fasting, good sleep, then dining with family members, having friendship. Friendship is also a non-medicine medicine. Then gratitude, the meditation, yoga. So I think all these things, and also talking good about others and not criticizing others. These are all non-medicine medicines.
Okay.
So they are not found in injection bottles or syringes, but no side effects, and they are all without any cost.
So basically, inner well-being is most important than anything else. Okay, doctor. So what is your advice to the future cardiologists?
Look, my advice to the future cardiologist is you have to go step by step, and one should have intellectual honesty. If a And most important, you should understand the financial background of the patient, and within that financial bracket, how best you can do a good treatment, how best you can perform a correct cardiac procedure. You have to understand the financial background. Within that financial background, you have to see how best you can provide a quality care or a quality treatment. That is one. And another thing, if a procedure is not required, you should be courteous enough, you should be uh, bold enough to say that you don't require any procedures, just some simple medication is enough, that is fine. And you should not try to do too many things when you are doing a complex procedures. When they are doing complex procedure, yes, there is a limit. So despite doing trying and various techniques and all, if you are not able to achieve the result, at some point you have to stop. There should not be any ego clashes, because patient safety is important. Okay, you are attempting, it is a complex cardiac problem, and you should not end up, because you have to anticipate complications. So sometimes what happens, they go on trying and trying, ultimately land up in complication, and patient safety is compromised. That's one thing. And everybody has got their own best of their time, best of their professional career. So you have to have a very good interpersonal relationship with your colleagues, and you should have a very good professionalism, and you should have a very good attitude also. Because attitude, see, talent and skill can take you to a greater heights. To remain in the top position for a longer time, your knowledge and your skill may not help. At that time, your attitude and behavior and mannerisms will do a lot to them to remain in top position. Many talented people, many highly skilled people have gone down the drain because of their ego and their attitude and abnormal behavior. So I think this is where, and you should be sympathetic to the patients, very important, and you should not overdo things. That is my advice to the youngsters. And always keep teaching your colleagues, younger colleagues, and you have to learn from each other. If you think I know everything, that means you have reached the dead end of learning, and you are ignorant. So we should never stop learning, because life never stops teaching.
Yes, doctor, we heard so much about you, and today after speaking to you, we definitely realized that it is you practice what you're preaching. Actually, it was wonderful talking to you.
And 5 things are very important to keep your heart healthy. Lower the better. 5 things. If these 5 things, if you are keeping, as low as possible, it's good. That is, one is blood pressure, second is blood sugar, third is blood cholesterol, fourth is body weight and waist circumference, fifth is over ambition and over ambition. So these five.
Thank you so much for being on the show, doctor. It was wonderful talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.